There we go.
Okay, there we go.
Perfect.
All right. Hi, everyone. Good morning to those who are on the East Coast. No, good morning to the people on the West Coast, and good afternoon for everyone on the East Coast. We're very excited to be hosting our Thursday Mailchimp office hours this week. And today we have special guests, and I'll just pass it to them, to Christine and Sarah, to introduce themselves and start their demo. And then at the end of the session, we'll leave time for Q&As.
All right. Welcome, everyone. We're excited that you are here. And today we're going to be sharing our strategies for nurturing your list in Mailchimp. Of course, step one is, growing your list, but just as important is what you do with them once they are in your file to ensure that you keep them engaged and build that relationship with them. So first off, we are from Cornershop Creative. Cornershop Creative is a full-service digital agency that exclusively works with nonprofit organizations. So some of the organizations that we work with that you may know of is the League of Women Voters, Greenpeace America, Toys for Tots, and others. And we specialize in WordPress development, in building sites for organizations. But Christine and I are on our digital strategy team, which is what I like to affectionately call I have a website, but now what do I do? And it very much is along this line of helping to bring customers and supporters uh, to your website, your calls to action, getting them to convert, and building that relationship. I serve as our director of digital strategy and just celebrated my 10-year anniversary with Cornershop. Started 10 years ago as a project manager, managing projects within this very space, and have been leading our digital strategy team over the last 5 years. Christine, do you want to introduce yourself really quick?
Yes. Hello, I am Christine Ward. I use she, her pronouns, and I am a senior content strategist at Cornershop Creative. So I get to work with our nonprofit and small business clients to help them reach their organizational goals through digital marketing, including email marketing, like we'll be covering today, as well as search and generative engine optimization, digital ads, social media, really the full gamut of content strategy.
So just quickly, what you can expect us to go over today really is going to be building upon itself. So first, we're going to be talking about setting up email preferences. While it is great to capture their, email address to get them into your file, the more you know about your subscribers, the better, and the more that you can tailor the content to them and engage them in a way that is meaningful and meets them where they are. So with this, it gives subscribers more control over what they receive. Again, it's tailored to their preferences. And we'll walk through how to set up the preference center within Mailchimp and dig into a little bit about groups and tags, which I know can be a confusing topic. So once we have our email preference center set up, we're going to talk about building a welcome series. One of the things that is super important is to have some sort of notification or message go out as soon as someone subscribes to your list. This is your best shot at making a great first impression. It would be like somebody saying hello and then them not saying hello back. And with that, it is best to create a series to introduce them to your business and what you do to really build that relationship. So we will walk through building a three email automated series using Mailchimp's Customer Journey Builder. And then the last portion is segmenting for personalization. So not only building that relationship, but actually tailoring the message to the right people. So we'll be walking through how you can do that with some dynamic content within Mailchimp. So to get started, why does all of this matter? I talked a little bit earlier about, not just why, growing your list is important, but actually acting on that. So in looking at some reporting from Mailchimp themselves, segmented campaigns get over 100% more clicks than non-segmented ones, and have a over 14% better open rate. So emails that are segmented and tailored to the individual are going to get more engagement because it is speaking directly to them in a way that resonates with them. So again, a really simple example is an email that starts like "Hi friend" versus "Hi Sarah." The organization or business is speaking directly to me. Users really resonate more with a personalized greeting and message, rather than just a email blast that is very quickly going to go into the trash can. Another stat from Litmus's State of the Email Address, which is a report that they put out every year, found that the highest ROI email programs send nurture emails first, newsletters and onboarding sequences and promotions. Sort of what I've talked about when we were going over the agenda today, is anyone on your list. It is not a transactional relationship. It is like any other relationship that requires nurturing and growth for them to get to know you and for you to get to know them. So the tactics that we're going to talk about today are really going to help build a more robust program, and ensure that the hard work that you're doing to get people to subscribe to your newsletter, sign up for updates through, SEO, paid ads, or other means is actually resulting in an ROI that is higher than hopefully you're looking for. So to dig into our first topic, we're going to be setting up email preferences. Um, the goal with this is that by giving your subscribers more control, they'll stay longer. Again, when customers feel like they have more agency, they're more likely to be more engaged, make a purchase, make future purchases. So just to talk about it from a high level, a preference center lets subscribers choose which types of emails they want. Do they want to receive promotions? Do they just want to get updates for the company? If you run events, do they want to get events blasts? So it's not an all or nothing scenario, and they're only getting the emails that matter most to them in the frequency that is going to best meet their needs. Why this matters really is to that point. Subscribers who choose their content churn less and engage more. It's fewer spam complaints, and they actually get the messages bubbled up to their inbox that are really going to have the highest probability for conversion. If somebody's not interested in getting, event blasts for you, and that gets buried under content that they really matter about, one, they're not going to see that content that really matters to them, and they're more likely to unsubscribe because they're getting a bunch of content that they are not interested in. And so best practices around this is to promote your preference center in every email footer and in your welcome email. That way it makes it impossible to miss, and the subscriber has the option to always tailor their preferences before completely unsubscribing, which again, it really is the biggest goal, is that we want to keep people engaged longer, and reduce that unsubscribe rate. All right, Christine, do you want to talk a little bit about groups and tags?
Yes. Before we dive into how to create a group in Mailchimp, I just wanted to quickly cover the difference between groups and tags with how you organize your account. So I like to think of groups as subscriber controlled labels and tags as more of your internal labels. So both can help you get the right email to the right person. And a good email marketing strategy definitely requires using both of these. So for example, you might have an event group category, and then individual groups for the types of events that you typically host. So that way your users can self-select which type of events they're interested in. So it might be webinars, workshops, fundraising events, new product launches, whatever sorts of events you typically host. And then you might also have event-related tags to keep track of people who registered or attended a specific event. So it might be something like Mailchimp webinar July 2026 for the tag. So we'll be starting off with groups in order to set up our preference center today. All right, so this is just the quick list of instructions here, but we are actually going to go into Mailchimp and create a group together. All right, so to create your new group to use in your Preferences Center, you'll want to go to your audience here, and then you'll see like three little dots at the top, and you can select groups from there. And then it'll bring you to this groups page. And from here, we're just going to create a group. And I like to keep the default checkboxes here for the preferences group, just so that if users want to select more than one option, this checkboxes option allows them to do that. So for the group category name, you can choose something like My Preferences, or today I'm going to use I'd like to receive. And then from there, you can add the typical topics that you plan to send emails about. So that might be newsletter, and you can just add options there for however many preferences you want to allow your users to choose from. For this example, we'll do one on our newsletter. We'll have one on promotions. So any sales or other promotions you might be running. And then we'll have event invites. And then you can just go ahead and create your group. So then we can see if you select here, all of those options have appeared as groups within that category. And if you have users that have signed up, they'll appear as contacts there underneath. But since this one is brand new, don't have any contacts listed there yet. All right, and then from there, we are going to create our preference center. So if you go under audience then to subscriber preferences, you'll see a link here that will be the preference center for the audience that you have selected. So this is our kind of general audience in Mailchimp, our Cornershop updates. So if I click through here, I will be able to customize our preferences center. So you can see this kind of little floating controls here. If I click on the image icon, I'll be able to select our logo here, and that will automatically display up in the top left here. And you can also customize the font. There's a couple options to choose from there. And you can click in to directly customize the text that appears here as well. This is just the default text from Mailchimp, but you can customize it to be in your organization's voice and include any details about the types of emails that you typically send. And then you can also customize the colors of the email here. So if black and white is not your thing, you can select a different color combo there. And then from there, you can actually edit the fields. So if you look in here, we have a services group category that pulled in that lists some of our services. Um, but it doesn't really make a ton of sense to have users self-select the services since it's just kind of defined by what they sign up for on our end. So here I'm going to click Edit Fields, and I can turn off this group set if I had the correct if I had the correct permissions there, I'd be able to just click that toggle and turn it off. And then I can also turn on any other fields that I have hidden here. So if I say I wanted a phone number field to show, I could just toggle on any of those fields that you have set up in your Mailchimp account. All right. And from there, you can save and continue. And you can then select the domain preference. I'm going to stick with the Mailchimp domain here, where it'll just be Mailchimp sites.com/Cornershop Creative here. You can also use your custom domain if you go through that connection process. Save and continue. And then from there, this is just a notice to let you know that once your preference center is published, Mailchimp will automatically replace that update your preferences link in the footer of your email templates with this preferences center. Continue. And then once you hit publish, that will be live. All right, jump back into my slides here. And here we just have some examples of other preferences centers. The potted planter, which is the example that Mailchimp uses in a lot of their different tutorials. So that's there. And then I've also created another one for a little bookstore here, just so that you can get an idea of what these will typically look like.
All right. Well, moving into our second tip, which is creating a welcome series. For our purposes today, we're going to be talking more about a welcome series when someone signs up for your list, but there's lots of different types of welcome series and automations, and they all very much follow a similar kind of approach and philosophy, which is definitely balancing timing with the number of messages and the actions that you have within the series. As I mentioned earlier, this really is where you can make a really great first impression by having a list of curated messages that you send to a subscriber on a timeline with a defined goal in mind at the end of the series. So just to walk through a very basic example, the first step is in this example is to send the first message immediately. When somebody submits their email address, you want to acknowledge and thank them for signing up. This also helps to set expectations with what they will be receiving, how they can engage more, a great way to plug that preference center if you are only collecting the bare minimum when they're signing up, and really is that kind of first step within the relationship. Um, Ideally, a couple days later, in this case, 3 days, this is a great chance to provide more of a storytelling message, share with them a little bit about your business, what you focus on, opportunities for them to engage more with your content. It really depends on, what your goal is with the with the list that they've signed up for. But this really is, I would say, is more of that kind of personalized message to be able to create a more and deeper relationship. And then a few days after that, so in this case, in this example, this entire series would just take a week. The last email is going to be that kind of softer call to action, inviting them to maybe check out your store, engage with your content, reach out for more information. Again, you've primed the pump by acknowledging and thanking them for signing up, sharing a little bit more about you, and then how they can engage more with you with your organization or business. In our experience, you don't want too long between messages, but you also don't want a deluge of them like one day after another. Typically, 3 to 5 messages within a series over a 1 to 2 week span is best. It really is going to depend on the series that you are running, but definitely for a welcome series, welcoming them to your list. This is the approach and the cadence that we typically recommend. So to set that up, Christina is going to walk through how to do that within Mailchimp.
Yes. All right. So again, I've listed out the instructions here, but we are going to walk through that in Mailchimp. So from your menu on the left here, you're going to want to select automations. And from here, there are a few different welcome series templates that Mailchimp provides. But today we are going to build one from scratch. So start out with a name for your automation. So for this one, I'm just going to do welcome series. And then make sure that the correct audience is selected here if you have more than one in your account. And we'll go to the next step to choose a trigger. And for a welcome series, you'll typically choose signs up for email. All right, but from there, you have a couple different options. You can either include or exclude your imported contacts. I actually like to leave this unchecked, just depending on how often you import users that subscribe elsewhere. If too much time has passed, the welcome series might feel oddly timed or even spammy to a user that may have signed up, a couple weeks ago. So I leave this unchecked by default. And then you can also filter who can enter the flow from there. So maybe you would have unique welcome series for each of those preferences. You could have, one for the newsletters, one for promotions, and one for event invites. But for simplicity's sake here, we are just going to have all new subscribers go through this one welcome series. So we'll go ahead and save our trigger there. And the first step then that we want to send immediately after someone signs up for our email list is to send them that first email in the series. So like Sarah mentioned, typically that will be an email that just welcomes users to your list, your organization, and explains what they can expect now that they're subscribed. So here we've got some options to really customize this email, similar to the standard campaign builder. So you'll choose, your to and your from email addresses. You'll choose a subject for the email. So I'll just put in welcome to our list, some preview text, and then From here, you can then select a template for the body of the email. So again, similar to the standard campaign builder in Mailchimp, you'll have all of your save templates, as well as the templates that are provided in Mailchimp. And you can also use recently sent emails in here. So if you have an email that you sent recently that you really liked the look of, you can snag that as your template here. And from there, you can just build out the content of the email and save it. And then we'll add another step here. So since we want to wait a few days in between emails, we're going to select a time delay here. And we don't want to wait a full week in this case. So we'll do 3 days before this next email and then save it here. And then we will add our email number 2. And again, it's just that same process of doing the to and the from, the subject and preview text, and the selecting a template and building out the email from there. We'll do another time delay after that second email. And we want days, and this time we're going to wait 4 days. And then we will send our final email number 3, where we offer some sort of other call to action, way to get involved, promotion, purchase opportunity. And it's the same process again to fill out the to and from, the subject and preview text, and then to select that template and begin building out the content of the email. All right, and then the final step before a contact exits here that I like to add is once we send them this final email in the series, I will add a tag. So add step and then select this tag or untag option. And I will have a tag for something along the lines of completed welcome series. So that way we'll know that users completed this series when we are looking at their history. It'll just be an easy way. So we're going to want to add that tag there and then save it. And then what we can do at the top, if we have users that leave us and then resubscribe, instead of sending them through the welcome series again when they already know our spiel, is we can then filter again who can enter. And we will do it by tags. And if the contact is not tagged, this completed welcome series, we will use this segment. So that way, no one who has already completed this series will be going through it again. And from there, you can send test emails to see what each email in your series looks like in your email inbox. I like checking it on a desktop and a mobile device at the very least. And then click continue to activate your journey. Right. Nope, I think you're muted, Sarah.
Thank you. So digging in a bit more to some more steps that you can take to nurture your list. So now that we've understood their preferences, we've engaged them with a welcome series. The next thing that you can do is start segmenting based on different traits about the user. And this is a great way to personalize content to them and ensure that they're getting messages that really speak to them in the way that they want to be engaged with. So there are six areas that are best to use to define segmentation. First is behavior. So this can be based on behaviors that they either took on an email, or maybe they need a certain call to action. So some examples here are like they opened the last three emails, they clicked a specific link. A good example here is oftentimes resending to actually non-openers. So say that you sent out a email blast and you want to re-engage those people that maybe didn't click on it in the first place. You could segment just for non-openers to that email and resend a more tailored email like, hi, we saw you didn't open this email, but wanted to give you an extra, 5% off or something like that. The next section is demographics. This, of course, depends on if you've captured that information. So these can be things like location, when they joined your list, their birthday. Um, our favorite way to do this is through celebrating milestones. So a good one is like if you've had someone where they made their last purchase a year ago, sending them a tailored message celebrating that anniversary, and maybe inviting them to take that action again or grow their engagement. Um, the third group is through the engagement ratings within Mailchimp. You can tailor messages or send personalized messages to move people up that engagement ranking, or with your highest engaged individuals, really create a more dynamic relationship through custom content and other types of messaging. Similar to the example that we gave earlier under demographics about purchases and join dates, you can also segment based on purchase history. This is another good way to either keep folks engaged or re-engage folks who maybe haven't been taking the action that you want them to, if that action is making some sort of transaction. Um, so depending on what tools you use, Mailchimp integrates with a lot of these so that you can pull that data within Mailchimp, or you can upload a list to be able to segment that way. Of course, there is the lovely Preference Center, which Christine gave an example of earlier. And then the last group is Mailchimp's AI-generated segments, which are a great way to, if you're not sure where to start, leveraging the tools within Mailchimp to help you identify which individuals are most likely to take your desired action, and maybe which of those are on the verge of disengaging and that you would want to reach out to. So Christine is going to walk us through an example of how to create one of those segments.
Right. All right, so to create a segment, you're going to go to Segments here under Audience. And then we have this handy button in the top right then to just create a segment. So you'll choose your first condition here. So for this example, we can do a engaged group of subscribers. So we'll use the campaign interaction field. And then instead of was sent here, we're going to do has opened. And we'll say any of the last 5 campaigns. But you can also select specific campaigns that you want to send. follow-up emails for, or kind of bring that out to any of the last 50 campaigns if you send lots and lots of emails. But we'll do 5 campaigns here. And then they also have this open type selection. So you can do any open, or what I like to do is the open is not the Apple privacy open here. So Apple privacy opens refer to email opens that are generated by Apple's mail privacy protection policy. So Apple will kind of prefetch images and cache messages in the background to effectively hide whether a real person opened an email. Which has led to lots of complications on the marketing side with artificially inflated open rates here and some just unreliable tracking metrics. But email or Mailchimp has this handy option here to ignore those Apple privacy opens that are not real people opening your email. And from here, you can add and or statements to really build out that segment even more. So with the and statement, it would include users that meet both of those criteria. Or if you use or statements, it would be anyone who meets either of the criteria that you set. So for this example, we'll add another and here, and we'll reach out to users who say are in our webinars group. And from there, you can review your segment and see how many people are included there. And then if that count looks good, we don't need it to, yeah. So if that count looks good and you want to send an email out there, we'll go ahead and use the segment and give it a name. I recommend naming your subscribers very clearly here. We see a lot of people that kind of add some gibberish here, and then they don't understand what they meant by the segment 6 months later. So in this case, we'll just use engaged newsletter subscribers, last 5 campaigns, and you can just save that and exit, and you'll have your segment. And then to use it in a campaign, when you are selecting the recipients in the campaign builder in Mailchimp, you'll just choose send to segment and you'll select the name of the segment that you built there. All right. And then, so 3 segments to build right now. These 3 segments alone will really change how you think about your list. So once you take a look at your data, a lot of times we'll find that the top 20% of engaged subscribers are responsible for 80% or more of clicks to your email campaigns. So you'll definitely want to be taking better care of these subscribers. So just 3 segments to try out here. If they've opened at least 3 of your last 5 campaigns, you could send them a thank you email and a first look at something new or some other sort of special promotion there. For new subscribers who've joined in the last 30 days, you can take a look and make sure they have that completed welcome series tag on them and track how they've engaged with emails that they have received since they have subscribed. You can also look at a clicked but did not buy segment. So users who clicked in a recent 5, 10 email campaigns, but don't have any sort of purchase tag added. And from there, you can follow up with, a helpful nudge or even an FAQ on a product that they were interested in.
Great. So with all of this in mind, if you do, nothing else over the next 30 days, these three goals that we've laid out here and have walked you through, really will set you on the path to having a more engaged and more robust list. Good thing to keep in mind is that it is progress, not perfection. Any step that you can take between, now and the next 30 days is a step in the right direction, whether it's setting up your preference center, ensuring that you have a welcome series, or even just that kind of first, like, thank you for subscribing email, or creating some segments for your subscribers. All of these will help to engage users in a deeper level and get them to take the actions that you're looking for. Um, that wraps up what we have prepared, but happy to answer any questions. And if there's anything that comes up after this session, you can reach us at hello@cornershopcreative.com, and we'll be in touch and with some answers.
Great. Thank you, Christine and Sarah. That was so informative. Appreciate you sharing all your knowledge with us. I just want to double check if anyone in our audience have any questions. Feel free to put something in the chat or raise your hand and I can unmute you. I see Linda. Do you have a question for us? Okay, I guess maybe we can wrap up this session earlier and we'll be sure to include the recording in our hub and also promote the email that you guys provided so everyone else can reach out after they watch the recording. But I appreciate the time, Christine and Sarah. And I think that's it.
Wonderful. Thanks so much. Happy
Thank
to
you
be
so
here.
much. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.